Hello and good morning, everybody. Welcome to a coffee break here with a topic of the power of Cipher. I hope you have a nice cup of coffee. And I want to take you through a little tour on the Cipher and all its great functionalities. So this is a Cipher. It's our latest released phased array unit. Obviously has a lot more capabilities than phased array alone. So let's turn that unit on and let's have a look at the capabilities and the actual features of this new device. So first of all, let's have a look at the state-of-the-art software. I'm going to take you through a little live tour using my camera here, so hopefully all goes well. I'm also going to take you through the guided setups, how easy it is to actually go and set up your scan plans. Also, we'll go through some features, some possibilities of UT inspection, fully featured, including PWI, PCI, phased array, and TOFT. Then we'll have a look at the best-in-class tools that this unit actually has, and we'll have a look at reporting and analysis. So let's turn that unit on. We should have a live image here, which we can actually use. And I'm going to give you a little tour of the device itself. So first of all, the one thing that you'll notice that on the top you got two IPEX connectors, so no more messing around with splitters. Obviously 128 channels. Also, we got an I/O here for including input and output, plus an I/O for an encoder. We have 4 additional analog channels, which allow us to use conventional probes as well as TOFT. On the side here, we have an Ethernet connection, some HDMI, USB 3 connection, obviously the dial knob, which is actually quite handy when you actually use the equipment itself. And then we have functional buttons which we can actually program. Obviously a charge connector, and then in the back you'll see a nice stand, big cooling ribs, so it can also be used in hotter environments. And then if we look at the other side of the unit, we'll have 2 hot swappable batteries with a battery indicator, actually allowing you to see the battery capacity without turning the unit on. So that was a quick tour of the hardware. And let's get this unit started. So I'm turning the unit on. And I'm actually connecting the power here as well. Also connecting a probe because I want to show you some live setup and images. I'm also connecting an encoder. This should give you a demo of that as well. And what I'm also doing is I'm connecting a HDMI connection so I can actually show you the software, and I'm going to use a mouse and a keyboard in this case to actually make the interface a little bit easier. So we got that connected. Software is powering on. So in this case, we're going to switch to the user interface. I'm going to switch my camera here to give you an outlook of the software itself, and then let's have a look at the actual software capability. So the unit is actually booting at the moment. There we are. There we got the user interface, and as you can see on the left side here, we have the files and the folders where we actually store our data. We have a create setup or a load setup options, allowing you to easily go through the software interface itself. Also, there's a lot of functionality on file management, recently used files or copying of files also from USB. And here we can also have a look at the interface itself. allowing the different functions and tools. As you can see, we have some integration tools here as well, like OneDrive and Zoom, if you have the right equipment, and you can actually use those interfaces as well. In the system info, quite nice, you can see the software versions that we are running and which is currently activated on the machine itself. This is quite handy when you have requirements with regards to procedures where all the software versions are being used. So I'm going to click the create new setup because I want to take you through the ease of the software itself. And I see that I'm not on the correct slide. So if you give me a second here. So on the left, you'll see some highlights like menu-driven setups, but I'm going to give you an example here. So first of all, I created a new part. And in this part, I can quite easily set up stuff like my object. It can be a plate, it can be a pipe. Also, we can set here the weld preparation. As you can see, we have a V, but also we can choose from a lot of different weld types as well. We can easily change the parameters here to make sure that it fits your requirements of your actual weld. And we can see how easy it is to set up a configuration for a inspection, simple as that. Also, when you go through the different setups, you can see that the probe is already automatically recognized. So if you have Edify probes, it will automatically recognize the probe. And on the connections, it will also allow you to use the different connectors, the IPEX connectors on the top, allowing you to connect multiple probes at the same time. Also, wedges are automatically recognized. Not only do we support the Edify probes, also there's a long list of probes that we can actually manage within the software itself. Same to groups. In the groups, it's quite easy to allow different kind of inspections. So in this case, it will be a phased array inspection, but I can easily switch to a TFM inspection, and then automatically it will give me the interface that belongs to the properties that belongs to a TFM inspection. You can see it's all quite simple. It's very user intuitive, and it uses a lot of databases and guided supports for creating scan plans. Also, more complex setups will be possible with the software, but this at least give you a good opportunity to start scan plans in any which way you want. Also, we have the opportunity to look at a lot of different type of inspections. So if I load another setup here, then what I can see here, and I'm going to take a TFM plus stuff setup, is that it's quite easy to combine the different technologies of phased array inspections into one setup in one scan plan. So when we load this, what we can actually see is that we can combine as well as different probes. So we can have multiple probes. So in this case, we have a PWI probe on two sides, and you can see them both being displayed, or we can use them all into different groups. So if we create groups, then again, we can see the different groups and the layout created into one scan plan. If I show all groups, I can actually see all the probes into one setup. And there you go. You got a setup quite easily set up with into one scan plan. Also for mechanical, obviously, when you use multiple probes, it's easier to use this, or actually, it's a must to use this with a scanner. In this case, we're going to choose a one-line scanner and a Stix 4 probe type of solution where we basically can do the scan, the inspection in one pass using both PWI and TOFT in one go. I know I'm going quite a bit fast here, but we only have limited time. So I also wanted to show you some best-in-class tools that we have. And again, I'm gonna go here back to my scan plan list, and I'm gonna create a setup which I've created before. It's actually a simple one probe setup with a PWI. And there we are. We're loading the setup here. There we go. Using the little interface here takes us back to the settings. And what I want to particularly show you is that in groups we have two buttons here on the top. So one is for the button for which is a quite nice calibration, which you need to do quite regularly. It's an angle and height calibration. As you can see here, we have a reflection from the wedge. So this is to measure wedge height. And just by looking at the reflection from the wedge, clicking calibrate, I now have a calibration done for the wedge angle in my scan plan. As you can see, when I've done my calibration, a green little button appears, so I know that I've done this calibration for this inspection. Also quite nice is the TCG setup. And in this case, you see a little red bar here, which allows me to actually, so I'm gonna add a zone. The zone is actually for this calibration block here. And what I can now do is I can quite easily add my calibration in my zone, and I can add a new zone as well. So this new zone is going to be at 16. So two zones created, and I'm currently looking here at my response. I want to make sure that my response is not exceeding 80%, which is not. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to, it actually is, so I'm going to bring the gain back a little bit here to make sure that I'm not saturated. So by now pulling back the probe slowly, I can see the attenuation of the signal. I move it forward and back, and the more precise I do this, the better the result I get for my TCG calibration. As soon as I've done this, I click calibrate, and automatically the system has now calibrated the two holes in my block. This is a standard block. It's not a block which you would normally use, but it's a standard block that I have. But you can see that the responses are now nicely within the grid, the yellow bar here, making sure that all the responses are approximately at 80%. So that is how fast you can do a TCG calculation. And this is one of the many features and tools for calibration within the Cipher unit. Obviously, we have more calibration for velocity, wedge velocity, also for beam calibration. But there's not enough time to go into all of them. So I hope this quick tour was giving you a simple idea of a good idea of how simple those tools work and how efficient those tools work and how fast you can set them up. Then finally, let's have a look at the analysis and reporting. With analysis and reporting, we have a cursor, and this cursor is actually allowing us to have a tracking cursor, which is calibrated on all the screens. That means if I move the cursor on one, it's going to move them on all. Positioning over a defect will also automatically give you the A scan. Also, what we have is two cursors, the purple one here and the red one or the blue one. And those cursors will actually allow you to do some measurements. So you can actually see the cursors here on the screen, and by moving the cursors we can do two things. We can actually use them with the toolbar on the side to measure the distances between between the cursors, for instance. But also what we can do is we can use them as slicing, only showing, and it's actually showing here in the part as well. We're using slicing to actually only show a portion of the calibration block. Um, Also, what we have with the Cipher is that the report is created automatically on the fly. That means that while we create the setup, while we do the inspection, while we do the analysis, automatically everything is added to the database, to that particular inspection itself, which will automatically create a report in the background. Um, Time is flying fast. We only had a couple minutes. I hope this gave you a little bit of an idea of the capabilities of Cypher. Um, if you have any questions, just let us know. Um, this was the last bit of what I wanted to show you. I can talk here for hours, but only yeah, time's up. So I'm going to turn the unit off. I'm going to hand back to control to Isabella, and to see if there's any questions at the moment. So yeah, one of the questions is if the touchscreen can be used with gloves. Yeah, so we got a 12.1 TFT touch, a 12.1 inch TFT touchscreen that can be used with gloves. It's a capacitive touchscreen. It's quite nice. I actually forgot to mention that when we did the hardware too. It's a rather big screen as well, so it's very good. It's also a 1080 by 800 pixels, which makes it a high D screen, which really gives you good definition of defects and views. The battery life, yeah. So if you talk about battery life, they're probably 4 to 6 hours, 4 to 5 hours, depend on how intensively the unit is used and in what kind of setup. Obviously, if you drive multiples transducers, it's going to consume more power. But in general, it's approximately on an average of 5 hours for battery life. Um, yeah, so you saw that the probe was automatically recognized when I connected it in the unit. This is a feature that we have with our sensor network probes. Those are automatically recognized. Obviously, older probes and don't have probe IDs are not recognized, so you have to use Edify probes for probe recognition in the software. Otherwise, the database is quite large, so I'm pretty sure that most of the transducers are in the database already. So should you have legacy probes, then of course we can support them. Curved surface correction for, yeah. So that is adaptive TFM. That is not in this version yet, but it is something sure that we are working on in the future. And I see there's multiple questions here. The option face to face to work with two pitch catch. Yes, pitch catch is available for TFM. I don't think in this version we'll have image merge yet. So that means you have two individual views for the probes. Okay, thank you for joining today's coffee break. Hope it wasn't too chaotic. If you have any questions, then please let me know. Send me an email or give me a call. We're always available. If you're interested in equipment, please contact your local sales manager or your local application support, and be happy to help you with any questions or demos that you want. Thank you very much, and have a great day.